So why does your partner with ASD level 1 seem to prefer spending more time with a special interest than with you, the neurotypical spouse? Well, for all people with Asperger's or high-functioning autism, life is divided into two categories: preferred and non-preferred activities. Preferred activities are those things your spouse engages in frequently and with great intensity. However, not all of his preferred activities are equal. Some are much more highly desired. An activity that is lower on the list can hardly be used as a motivator for one that is higher. For example, you, the NT spouse, will have great difficulty getting him to substitute his computer time by offering a social reward. For example, accompanying you to a family get-together. If the computer is higher on his list, an activity that is non-preferred will often be avoided as long as possible. For example, doing chores, going to the grocery, watching a boring movie with you, and so on. The lower the activities are on the list of desirability, the more he will resist and avoid doing them. Now, sometimes an activity becomes non-preferred because it competes with one that is much more highly valued. For example, going for a walk with you could be enjoyable, but if he is reading at the moment and reading is higher on his list, he will not likely stop what he's doing to go with an impromptu walk. Most often, preferred and non-preferred activities are problem areas in the relationship. Your autistic spouse will always want to engage in preferred activities even when you have something more important for him to do. For example, watching the kids while you run an errand. He does not want to end preferred activities, and your attempts to have him end them will likely cause conflict. If many non-preferred elements are combined together, the problem can be a freaking nightmare. For example, going shopping with you, then stop by to see his mother-in-law, then back home so he can fix the water leak under the kitchen sink, and so on. Also, family vacations where his routine is totally disrupted for a rather lengthy period of time can also be a nightmare. The person on the autism spectrum rarely has activities he just likes. He tends to either love or hate an activity. The middle ground is usually missing. Now, obviously, you would like your spouse with ASD to experience new things to see if he likes them. But he may not want to do this just because you're asking him to do something new. People on the autism spectrum usually hate change. They usually hate deviations from their routine. He already has his list of preferred activities and will rarely see the need for anything new. Now, I know that this is not such great news because the autistic spouse who's engaging in his special interest to the exclusion of all else is emotionally unavailable much of the time. Many neurotypical spouses assume that the emotionally unavailable autistic spouse chooses to reject intimacy because he has fallen out of love. This is not the case. Remaining emotionally distant is rarely a choice. It's more like a case of social ignorance disease, which is also called mind blindness, that often operates at a subconscious level.